3 divisions of stock cars ready to battle it out on the blacktop. It's Operation Green Flag Mission Flamboro Speedway, next on GForceTV. Welcome, race fans, to Operation Green Flag, where today we revisit the only asphalt track on the tour. Last time we were here, we saw Pro Late Models and Canadian Vintage Modifieds. Today, 3 new classes that open up their 2020 season. I'm Greg Kellnan. With me, as always, Adam Ross and Clayton Jeffrey. But first, to set the stage for today's mission, here's Speedway announcer Gary Colling.
Thanks, guys. It's going to be a great show today here, 15 minutes away from Hamilton, downtown Hamilton. We're at Flamboro Speedway, owned by John and Frank Caselli. Today, we have the pure stocks, the mini stocks, and the super stocks. Get yourselves tight, grab yourself something to eat, grab a drink, buckle up, because we're going racing, and we're going to have some fun.
Traditionally in the Ontario racing scene, drivers have a track that they compete at weekly. And then in the fall, there's a series of special events that bring all the best of the best together. With 2020 being anything but normal, today we get to see just that, a special race in the summer heat. Adam?
With intense heat and bright sunshine, this track is going to be super slick for the drivers this afternoon. In order to be competitive, a driver's going to be able to handle a lot of traffic and very little grip on the racetrack. The other thing we need to remember, unlike some of the classes we've seen so far in the series, these are entry-level divisions. There's not a lot of climate control to help keep the drivers cool. It is going to be very, very hot inside these race cars. So just like our other weeks, it's going to take a lot of aggression. It's also going to take a lot of mental toughness to get over the hot conditions. One of our people that's going to be dealing with hot conditions all day long, he's in a fire suit ready to go on the infield. Clinton Jeffrey is going to follow all of the activity today. Clinton, what's going on?
It sure is hot here today, guys, and you can bet the mercury will be spiked inside these race cars. The 3 divisions we've got racing here today can sometimes be considered entry-level classes, but you're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing. With these divisions full, it's going to be a wild one here at Flamboro this afternoon.
When we return, it's our second tour of duty at Flamboro Speedway, Operation Green Flag on GForceTV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me, aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GForceTV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Ribs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the Cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
What you want to do is when you're on your computer or on your cell phone, whatever it is, go to GForceTV.net. Type that in your browser, and that will take you right to the official YouTube page of GeForce TV. And down on the right-hand side, you'll see the big red subscribe button. Make sure you click on that. But don't stop there. Once you've subscribed, then you want to make sure you hit the little ringer to the right. That's the notification bell. And anytime there's new content uploaded to GeForce TV, you'll get a notification, whether it be on your computer, on your device, whatever it is, you'll know when there is content. And as we've been saying, it's so important when you're watching these videos on YouTube or for the meantime on Facebook, make sure you give it a thumbs up, give it a like, make sure you're sharing these links, and that helps the actual content grow and populate throughout YouTube, specifically for the GeForce channel. Ready to go racing at Flamboro Speedway, Operation Green Flag Mission. Flamboro Speedway, glad you could join us here this afternoon. I'm Greg Kellman. With me here in the announce tower, Adam Ross, and down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey, as we bring you 3 divisions of action here this afternoon, starting off with the mini stocks and their 40-lap main event. We'll have the pure stocks, 40 laps for them as well, and 50 laps for the super stocks this afternoon. The field coming out onto the speedway for the mini stocks as they get set to go 40 laps in distance. Qualifying took place just about an hour ago. Group time trials, they inverted 2 through 10. And again, there you see 40 laps is the length. Total entries for this event, 30. A great full field of cars here this afternoon at Flamboro Speedway. Mini stocks on the blacktop getting their first action of 2020. As we've seen some mini stock action on dirt, but a lot of these drivers, well, all of them, I believe, except one, Wade Thorne, who's been on the dirt in his mini stock. This is their first race of the season. It's been an awful long off season for all of these drivers, Adam.
You better believe it. I mean, a lot of drivers have been down here turning some test laps. There's just no comparison between a practice day and a race day, Greg. You don't get the butterflies for practice. You don't get up on the wheel quite as much as you do in a practice as you would for a race day like today. So we're going to have a lot of fun here. These drivers are ready to rumble, and they might be a little disappointed. Well, some will be disappointed because we can see Kyle Steckley right behind the Flamboro Speedway pace truck. He's going to have to drop all the way back to 10th. They drew 10 for the inversion in these mini stocks.
And we've got a stacked field here this afternoon. We touched at the top of the show. We usually see these mixed races in the fall when some of the best gather together for the big series races. But because of what we've gone through this year, we've got a sprinkling of drivers from all around Ontario, and that is going to make for some interesting racing today in all 3 divisions.
Well, let's tell you where they're going to line up for this mini stock event here today. On the pole after the invert from Allenford, the number 51 London Recreational Racing ImageWraps.ca sponsored machine is Craig Camrath. On the outside of row 1 out at Kitchener, the Industrial Water Blast Services Angle Promotions number 18, Chris Pendlebury. Starting third from Dundas, the Napa Waterdown A&A Discount Auto number 81 is Carl Salt, and alongside him from Waterford, the Buckwald Landscaping Graphic Marketing Solutions number 46, Wade Thorne. Starting in 5th from Durham, the Caldecott Millwrights Roy Marr Demolition number 7 of Tommy Robb. And to his outside from Innisfil, the Presto Appliance Repair Maple City Tire number 28 of Connor Maltese. Rolling off 7th from Hillburg, the Caldecott Millwright Services in memory of David Wilson, sponsored number 14, Brian Wilson. And starting in 8th from Cambridge, the number 10 is Will Gibbons. Starting 9th from Collingwood, the London Recreational Racing Hadlock Metal Roofing number 35 of Andy Camrath, and rounding out the top 10 from Milverton, the Quick Fire Starters A.W. Millwrights number 24, Kyle Steckley. Starting 11th in the 15, from Oro Medonte, the Sunset Speedway sponsored mini stock of Mike Brown, and starting 12th out of Barrie, the UA Local 46. Number 46 is Ryan Dentimo. Starting 13th from Guildford in the Tarpon Lumber and Trust, Dean Boss Motorsports number 22 is Chandler Boss, and starting 14th from St. George, the Cranny Industrial Service Race and Stuff number 59, Tyler Lewis. Starting 15th from Caledonia, the Maple Mechanical, Jimmy Lowenberg Racing. Number 8 is Dale Millard. And 16th from Bradford, the Origin 1668 Coffee, ARM Technologies. Number 45 of Jason Dantimo. Starting 17th from Peterborough, the Dan's Appliance Repair Cabin, Mr. Transmission Peterborough. Number 6 of Brad Laval. Starting 18th from Renfrew, the Farnborough Racing, MR Automotive and Whitby. Number 28, Nolan Gold. Starting 19th from Baldwin, the Tarbin Lumber and Truss, Mikey Network. Number 1, it's Rob Harrison. Starting 20th from Holland Landing, the McGill Equipment Sales and Service, Andrew LeBlanc Mechanical. Number 5, Peter Wakeling. Starting 21st from Mount Forest, the Johns Towing. Number 85 is Matt Clark. Starting 22nd from St. Thomas, the 74 is Stan Cook. Starting 23rd from Burlington, the Kangaroo Trailers, GM Electric. Number 76 is Sean Taylor. Starting 24th from Burlington, Lindy's Plumbing Services. Number 79 of Kyle Eisted. Rounding out the field, they just changed a carburetor in that car. They missed qualifying out at Kitchener. The Kurtz Coolers, Academy Construction. Number 88, Jake Watson.
Green flag set to come up in the air. Our first race of the afternoon. Double greens come out, and off they go down to the corner number 1 with Chris Pendlebury leading the way. And the Camerath 51 there. Smoke up in corner 1. Troubles for one car.
Yeah, some real aggressive starts there. Not sure if they're going to ding anyone for jumping the start, but they were 3 wide well before the start-finish line. And we've got a side-by-side battle for that lead. Camerath down on the inside, but he might lose that spot to the number 18 up high.
Greg Camerath in the 51 on the bottom side. Chris Pendlebury in the 18 running the outside on around the top. He leads lap number 1. He continues to lead off of corner 4. Craig Camerath stays pinned to the bottom.
Remember the fast qualifiers, they inverted the top 10, so Kyle Steckley in the 24, Craig Camerath in the 35. We expect these to be some of the big players. They are trying to work their way towards the top 5, but it is tough sledding at the moment.
Carl Salt back there in the 81, riding in that 3rd spot. Wade Thorne right behind him. We've seen him multiple times here in Operation Green Flag, on dirt, on asphalt. And here they come. Pendlebury leads. Camerath, Salt all stacked up behind.
Carl Salt with a move to the inside of Camerath. That's for the 2nd position. Down into turn number 3. Camerath in the 51, that neon yellow machine. Salt in the 81, sort of burgundy and black down low. We got trouble between 3 and 4.
Rob Harrison, I believe, is slowed up in corner number 4. We stand the green flag, though, as they continue side by side to the front. The leader's already beginning to catch some slower traffic. Pendlebury and Salt door to door down into corner number 1.
Salt making that inside groove work. The mini stocks really like the outside groove, being able to keep the cars wound up. But Carl Salt just took the lead down on the bottom.
Will Gibbons in that 10 car. Now he'll look to the inside for that 2nd spot. Kyle Steckley in the quick wick number 24 right on his back bumper.
Got another slower car between 3 and 4. Able to get to the bottom of the racetrack, so we should be able to avoid going yellow. Now up into the 3rd spot. There's that green A&W Millwrights number 24 of young Kyle Steckley.
How about Andy Camerath? He's done some work here to get himself up into that 5th position. Now he rides behind Steckley as Pendlebury, who started on the outside of the front row, now has drifted outside of the top 5. Oh, no. Well, he's holding on to 5th.
Holding on to 5th right now, and now they're 3 wide through lap traffic. Carl Salt, Will Gibbons had thoughts of going to the outside. That opened the door for Kyle Steckley. Steckley to the inside for that 2nd position.
Here he comes following the back bumper of Carl Salt. So with Salt, Steckley, Gibbons right now the top 3. Then Andy Camerath up into the 4th spot. Pendlebury holding on to 5th. He's feeling the pressure from Craig Camerath there in the 51.
There's a couple drivers we're going to want to watch as well, Greg, with a great battle at the front of the field. Jake Watson in the 88, Sean Taylor in the 76. They had problems earlier on, various problems, but they're in this field, and a yellow flag would put them in great position to be able to challenge for a top spot.
I was going to say, Jake Watson's probably that one driver right now that would really like to see a restart here and get bunched back up. As Wade Thorne now has problems in the 46, he's slow, and he'll take it to the pit area.
Thorne with troubles as well, so a number of cars. Remember, it might be the 4th of July, but this is opening night for these mini stocks.
Kyle Steckley on the outside of Carl Salt. And that quick Firestarter 24 works the high sideline beautifully. Prepared green Mustang heads down into corner number 3. He edges in front.
Carl Salt is a veteran of many, many years of racing. He'll give you just enough room for your race car, but he's a clean racer. He races hard, he races clean, always fun to watch.
So it's Steckley out in front of her, Salt. Now Gibbons will look down to the inside of the 81 of Carl Salt, looking for that second spot. Andy Camrath, meanwhile, continues to inch closer to the front of the field.
He does so. We got another slower car on the infield. That's Kyle Eisted in the 79 out of Burlington. He's going to wheel it down into the grass infield here at Flamboro. Looks like his afternoon will be done, but here comes a battle for that second spot. Will Gibbons remains on the inside of Carl Salt, and they are door-to-door as they cross the start-finish line.
Salt on the top side, Gibbons on the bottom. Andy Camrath riding behind them in fourth. Chris Pendlebury has settled into that fifth spot in car number 18. Then you've got Craig Camrath riding in the sixth spot. Tommy Robb back there in the seventh spot. Nolan Gould, Mike Brown, and Sean Taylor right now the top 10.
There's still a lot of racing left to go, and with these mini stocks, unlike a lot of the cars we've seen, Greg, a lot of the divisions we've seen where the cars are basically the same, when you have a mini stock, their handling characteristics are vastly different, one make and model to the next. So what works well in the early going of a race might not work as well late in the race as the car starts to wear out, but they're all going to wear out differently.
Right now it's Kyle Steckley that has the control of this one as he'll cross the stripe. It'll be 23 laps left to go as you see the leader cross the stripe. And it's Carl Salt and Will Gibbons continue to go at it there for the second spot. Camrath in fourth.
Steckley almost got boxed in traffic there. He was able to get around it, and that's a big break because now Carl Salt and Will Gibbons are basically boxed in. They are 4 wide down the front straightaway.
Wow, that was tight racing down there. Lap traffic amongst the leaders as well as they continue to go 3 wide off the second corner.
This is why today's race was going to be so much fun. They are able to run any part of the racetrack here. They can race on the apron. They can race right up against the wall, and there's so much of a... trouble for Kyle Steckley. Our race leader is headed towards the pits in that number 24.
Wow, he was way out in front of the top two, the second and third place cars, rather. Carl Salt and Will Gibbons, right in front of them. One car sideways.
Halfway through this race already. Halfway through is problems for the 46 machine.
Contact with a couple of other cars back there as well. It was the 8 of Dale Millard, who had some issues down here in the corner with the 85 of Matt Clark.
They're dropping out left, right, and center, but right now Carl Salt is the race leader as he is holding off Will Gibbons. Camrath about 4 or 5 car lengths behind, so still within striking distance, but what a battle at the front of this field.
Kind of wonder right now, is Andy Camrath kind of sitting where he is, watching those two. They've gone door to door for many laps, Gibbons and Salt, and he's just been patiently running smooth laps back there in that 35. And we know the Camrath name is obviously synonymous with the success here in Ontario.
You're absolutely right. As the Cameron Thompson up in the flag stand giving the move over flag, he's been busy there telling the slower traffic to move down out of the way.
Continue under the green flag with 17 laps left to go. The leaders working off of corner number 4 this time by. Carl Salt out in front over Will Gibbons, Andy Camrath, Chris Pendlebury, and Craig Camrath, your top 5.
Carl Salt reminds me, Rodney Rutherford has won a lot of money at Flamboro Speedway and enduros and big money entry-level races like this. Carl Salt reminds me of that type of driver. We've seen him behind the wheel of lots of different things. He's unflappable behind, just doing his thing out there.
He rides out in front. Notable driver making his way through the field. You touched on it earlier. Jake Watson now inside the top 10. He had to start this one at the back. Man, he would love a caution right now.
He desperately needs a caution, and that Kurtz Cooler's number 88. He's actually not far in front of the race leader, so his only hope is a yellow flag and some aggressive moves, as right now Carl Salt remains out in front, but he's opened a bit of a gap over Will Gibbons. Camrath still remains about the same distance behind, but Will Gibbons is sort of falling back towards the London Recreational Racing number 35.
And just as we talk about Jake Watson, he pulls off into the pit area just before going a lap down, so trouble's on the 88. Salt out in front, Gibbons second, Camrath running in that third position right now. Pendlebury back in fourth, but quite a distance back at the top 3.
You know what the difference is with this mini stock race and a lot of other races we watch, Greg? And a lot of quote-unquote premier divisions, drivers don't pull to the pits or pull to the infield. They stop on the racetrack to bring out a yellow. You don't see that in this class. We probably won't see it in the pure stocks, maybe in the super stocks, but it sure does make for a race to go by very, very quickly.
Yeah, we're already down. It'll be 10 laps left to go this time by as Carl Salt comes across the stripe. Cameron Thompson shows him the double hands in the air. And we have gone green flag since the drop of this one here at Flamboro Speedway.
The top three have distanced themselves from the fourth place Chris Pendlebury. I mean, they've got nearly half a racetrack between third and fourth.
Salt works through more lap traffic as they work it off the corner number 2. 9 laps left to go. Still to come, pure stocks and super stocks here this afternoon at Flamboro Speedway.
Man, that breeze is a godsend, isn't it, Greg? We're standing up here on the balcony in turn 1, a beautiful view of the racing facility, and that breeze is heavenly.
Salt works it off at corner number 2 by the lap car of Dale Millard. And into corner number 3, Gibbons is there within striking distance, and Camrath now has actually dropped off a bit from the top 2.
Yeah, Camrath has definitely lost some ground to the race leaders. He's trying to get around some slower traffic, struggling in that traffic. Carl Salt out in front, and Will Gibbons both. They're timing it well. They're seizing the opportunities. You know, the driver that looks at far ahead of where they are, those are the drivers that usually have success in these longer races.
Leaders now with some room to run as Salt and Gibbons are separated from lap traffic.
One car out there putting out a lot of smoke. We'll keep our eyes on it and see if it doesn't draw a caution. I believe that's Peter Wakeling in the 5 car. A lot of smoke out the rear end of that machine.
4.5 laps left to go now as the leader right up on that number 5 machine. They head down in corner number 3. 4 laps to go for leader Carl Salt, but Gibbons is right there on the rear deck lid.
We definitely have a battle for the money, and this is not, the prize money being put up today is nothing to shake a stick at, Greg. These drivers would love to get that payoff.
Absolutely, the bragging rights that come with it. The only race we've seen on the blacktop this season for the mini stocks. Who will grab the checkered flag here this afternoon? We're going to find out in 3 laps.
Carl Salt continues to lead the way. A feisty battle back there between the 51 of Craig Camrath and the 7 of Tommy Robb. A little bit of contact last time in 1 and 2. Going to keep one eye on that battle as Camrath drives down into the corner behind Robb. Just can't get the speed up off the turn as we've got 2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2 to go. 8 cars left on the lead lap. Sean Taylor is a straightaway ahead of the leaders as they work it down in 3. If Gibbons got anything, he's going to have to show it now. White flag goes on the field.
Carl Salt defending the inside of the racetrack, coming off at 3 and 4. Will Gibbons is right up there. Is he gonna try the bump and run, Greg?
Wow, he got close but didn't get there. Now he's right there on the back bumper. They head into corner number 3. Gibbons dives down low.
Clean move. Gibbons tries to make it on the inside. Salt defense. Carl Salt gonna take the mini stock win. Will Gibbons in second. Andy Camrath in third. But a big tip of the hat to these 2 drivers at the front.
If Will Gibbons wanted to win that dirty, he could have.
Well said. And even when Carl Salt pinched him down into 3, I thought, oh boy, here we go. I kind of thought Carl Salt might run higher to keep his momentum. He made the decision, I'm going to pinch him down. If he wants to spin me, he can. And he didn't.
Great race, green to checkered, 40 laps in total for the mini stocks here this afternoon at Flamboro Speedway. Operation Green Flag Mission Flamboro Speedway. You see the shot from corner number 2. You will see some folks in the stands here this afternoon, but these are not spectators. Each team allowed to bring 5 crew members, and because we have so many cars here in the pits for this event this afternoon, we couldn't fit everyone on the backstretch grandstand, so they've come here to the front stretch, and we'll see a number of them head over to the pit area now that this mini stock race is complete. But a fantastic race, and we've got Clinton Jeffrey down in Victory Lane to talk to the winner.
Thanks, guys. We'll get Carl Salt out of the 81 car here. You know, he's stranger to Victory Lane here at Flamboro. Career. And here he comes out of the 81 car. Carl Salt grabs a cold drink, and we'll get over here. Carl, solid drive for you tonight, Carl. You spent a lot of time here at Flamboro over the years, and you can pick up your checker flag there. We'll wait for you. But you picked it up. Good job, man. You got to be pretty pleased. First time we've seen the mini stocks here on the blacktop in Ontario, and you get it done.
Yeah, the car picked up where it was left off there. I dug out of storage a couple weeks ago and did the changes to it to make the rules for this year. Stickley had me, but he ended up pulling off, so I don't know what happened with him, but I saw Givens was behind me the whole time. He kept trying. He gave me a good bump for the last corner there. I don't blame him because I do the same thing, but I figured it might have been coming, so I kind of prepped for it already, and here I am. I thank all my family and friends. They come up to the shop, hang out, work on the car a bit. I got some sponsors. I got Safety First Rescue Unit. I got Napa Water Down, and I got A&A. So
I will send it back to Greg.
Thanks, Clint. Apologize, just a few microphone issues down there. Working with all the wireless signals around the track, but Clinton down there is going to catch up with second place, Will Gibbons.
Be happy with your night.
Only time we race against each other.
Yeah, Will Gibbons, move over here and talk to Andy Camrath. Andy, your car, you're normally the dominator in these events. Third today, can you be a little bit satisfied with that?
No, not really. We come out here to win. So I don't know what happened there with the race setup, and it just got really tight on entry. But, for 40 laps, quick 40 laps for these guys, it was a good show to put on.
Solid tonight, Carl Salt, Will Gibbons, and Andy Camrath get it done in the mini stocks, guys.
When we return, Pure Stocks will head to the racetrack. Operation Green Flag Mission, Flamboro Speedway. We'll be back in just a moment.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me, aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GForceTV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave ribs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
They'll run 40 laps as well, and Adam getting ready for the lineups for that one as the cars head out onto the racetrack. Beautiful day here, just 15 minutes outside of Hamilton, Ontario. Greg Kelman here in the announce tower along with Adam Ross down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey. We'll bring you all of these Operation Green Flag events. The Bennett GMC Pace Truck brings the Pure Stocks out onto the track. First time in competition for 2020 for them as well. So the Butterflies, I'm sure, are at their peak right now. And for those mini stock drivers, for some of them I feel sorry because there was so much anticipation and build-up to get to their feature event. And for some of them, they probably would have liked a caution flag or two just to catch their breath and see if they had something for the leaders. But green to checkered, nice clean race and a fantastic finish in that one. And tip of the cap to Will Gibbons and Carl Salt. as they put on a great battle there at the finish. They raced clean and made it exciting for everyone to watch.
So, Greg, have you made your choice yet for best appearing car in this Pure Stock division?
Not yet. I think I'm down to about 2 or 3, and I will get that ready for you here.
So we'll make that announcement at the end of the race, who we think it's going to be. We'll all make our choice, and then we'll discuss it, but I just want you to have that in mind. Great looking field of cars assembled. And there will be an invert in this one as well. I believe the invert was the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely a hard choice to make.
That is an Austin Mini we have in the field as well. Correct?
That's awesome. That looks it to me. So I've got my choices narrowed down as well. How about we give you the starting lineup? I believe we're still waiting for a few more cars to come out, but here is how they're going to line up for this event after the inversion. Starting on the pole out of London, the Inside Track News, IKnowALocalGuy.com. Number 78 is Joe Lawrence. On the outside of row number 1, from London, the Pine Valley Minute Lube, L28 Construction, number 90 of David Rockwood. Starting third in the number 48 from Scarborough, the Dirty Bingo Toronto, GarbageBanners.ca, number 48 of Chris Kahn. Starting fourth from Flamboro, the Questionable Financial Decisions, listed as the sponsorship on the number 32 of Jillian Hills. Starting fifth from St. Thomas, it'll be the Radar Auto Parts, Mitchell Cycle, APC Auto Centers, number 07 of Nick Ramsey. Starting sixth, a veteran of many, many decades, from Milton, the Presley's Pumpkin Patch, number 90X of Andy Weller. Starting seventh from Stratford, the BT Racing Konecki Equipment, number 53 of Don York. And starting eighth, he was your fast qualifier from Mitchell. Sponsored by A Child's Smile and Black Swan Brewing, the 92 is Kyle Neumeister. Starting ninth out of Dundas, the Blue Streak Contracting, Rangeview Fabricating, number 71 is Bobby Mercer. Starting 10th from Bowmanville, the Black Flag Racing, Farnborough Racing, number 26 of Stephen Finnegan. Starting 11th from Elsa Craig, the Pine Valley Minute Lube, L28 Construction, number 90P of Steve Arend. Starting 12th from Fergus, the Caldegot Millwright Services, Wellington Perforated Sheet and Plate, number 0 of Phil Gibbons. Starting 13th from Little Britain, the Jaws Services, Nick's Tire and Auto, number 45 of Kyle Novus. Starting 14th from London, the D's Detail and Auto Spot, A1 Electric Motor Pump Service and Sales, number 73 of Jordan Morris. Starting 15th from Hamilton, the BTX Bear Trail Express, BT Tire, number 42 of Leo LaBarbera. Starting 16th from Dundas, the A&A Discount Auto, Fireball Racing, number 10, Courtney Scott. Starting 17th, the 6th from Trout Creek, Dan's Appliance Repair Center, Cavan. Number 6 is John Laval. Starting 18th from Coldwater, the standout Auto Glass Aurelia. Country Produce Aurelia, number 13 is Rush Couture. Starting 19th from Aurelia, the Hamilton Contracting D's Original Smoke Shack, number 7 of Doug Willman. Starting 20th from Richmond Hill, the Dog Guides of Canada Foundation. Four Paws Designs, number 3 of Zach Harrison. Starting 21st from Brampton, the Denise Parks RBC Financial Planner, number 18, Connor Parks. Starting 22nd from Cambridge, the Jimmy Small Engine Repair Angle Promotions, number 17 of Jimmy Hooper. Starting 23rd in the Ken's Code Yellow Superman Maintenance Ponderosa, sponsored number 3B of Brian Gamble. Starting 24th from Aurelia, the Hamilton Contracting McQuaid Masonry, number 29 is Andrew Schilling. Starting 25th, I don't know if this is right or if I hit copy and paste too many times. Starting 25th from Aurelia, the Hamilton Contracting, McQuaid Masonry, number 14 is Carly Willman. Starting 26th from Aurelia, the Hamilton Contracting, McQuaid Masonry, number 9 of Austin Jeanette. Starting 27th from London, the Inside Track News, IKnowALocalGuy.com, 28 of Chris Lawrence. Starting 28th from Kitchener, the Valvoline Canada, MTE Consultants, number 8 is Kyle Lucas. Starting 29th from Bala, the Two Guys Property Maintenance, number 55 of Brandon Steele, and rounding up the field from Hamilton and Edible Therapy, Shell's Apps Graphic Design, number 48 of Stephen DeLue.
Good job, Adam. That's a lot of cars, and that's what makes this event so exciting this afternoon. 3 divisions cram-packed to their limit this afternoon. Makes your job tough getting the lineups out, but we're going to see another great race here. The Pure Stocks about to see the white flag. Next time by, they're ready to go at it for 40 laps.
And it's so stressful, Greg, because I know you're a big racing fan just like I am. So we pay attention to these classes at the different tracks we go to, but having to announce them is different. Having to know whose name is what, and you want to give everyone the credit they deserve. It's stressful, I'll tell you.
It is. So if we make an error, we apologize in advance. David Rockwood go from the top spot here for the Pure Stock division. 40 laps. Going to be a warm one inside these race cars, but they are ready to get their 2020 season kicked off. Green flag from Cameron Thompson goes in the air. We're on it.
Double greens fly. 15 rows strong are the Pure Stocks as they race down into turns 1 and 2.
Rockwood on that outside of the front rows. They go down the backstretch the first time. Clean and green through 1 and 2.
Rockwood and Lawrence side by side through 3 and 4. Lots of room between the two of them. They're really not pressuring each other, running their own lines. Rockwood going to get the advantage. Look at Jillian Hills up on the outside battling for second.
Rockwood, Joe Lawrence, Jillian Hills on that outside as they go down the backstretch and into corner number 3. One going off through the infield there was the Lucas, number 8, Kyle Lucas.
Trouble in turn 3, but nice save. Leo LaBarbera made some contact there with the 90P. They've sorted themselves out, and down the front straightaway they go.
Rockwood adding some distance now between himself and second place Joe Lawrence. Third right there, Chris Kahn. Jillian Hills fourth, Nick Ramsey. He got a win last weekend at Grand Bend Speedway. Whoa, evasive move on the front stretch.
Was it ever? The 07 has come up slow.
Well, he's not going in the pit area, though.
Oh! Silly me. Nick Ramsey, I believe, in that 07 with troubles.
Slow on the outside, as I was just saying. He picked up a win last weekend, the second place, I believe it was last week, at Grand Bend Speedway, where they ran a memorial race for Jared Dockstader, and what a great event that was. And today, not the day for Nick Ramsey.
What a great guy Jared Dockstader was, a fantastic announcer, an amazing ambassador for motorsports in Ontario, gone way too young.
Down the backstretch, the 90 machine of Rockwood leading the way, but Chris Kahn is right there on the back bumper now as they go around the lap car, the number 14 of Carly Willman.
Andy Weller as well in that 90 machine. He's no spring chicken, but again, he loves his racing. Doing a good job. Eagle Rad is on the side of that car, and I believe he was a sponsor in like 1990, and they haven't changed that quarter panel.
Leaders now, a bit of a gap between them and the back of the field as we work it off the corner and across the stripe. 33 laps left to go this time by. Rockwood out over Kahn. And Weller back there in position number 3. Kyle Neumeister's done a nice job to get into 4th.
Kahn's looked to the inside. Mike cost him the second spot. As soon as he went down on the apron, Andy Weller jumped to the outside, kept his momentum up, and now he's challenging for that second position. Kahn could be at risk of losing second, maybe third as well, with Neumeister right behind.
Weller around the outside, Neumeister trying to follow suit as they work it down into corner number 3, and now the leaders beginning to see the back portion of the field, so things are about to pick up, and amongst those cars is Nick Ramsey, who seems to have the 07 back up to speed.
Isn't that something? Cars are a bizarre thing, Greg. They'll work perfect for you one moment and not the next, but no quit. No quitting most of these drivers.
And now he pulls it off into the infield, so Ramsey looks to be done for the afternoon.
Just as I say, no quit, he quit.
Pair of 90s at the front of the field, Rockwood and Weller, and Neumeister right there in that 3rd spot. Kahn back to 4th now. Jillian Hills biding her time in the 5th spot as they continue to lap cars.
Rockwood did a nice job of using that slower car as a pick. And that's a perfectly acceptable short track move, Greg. If you're going to make a move on a car in front of you, they get to choose their line. the pick is a fantastic and time-dated move. That's been around for a long, long time.
When the opportunity presents, you take it. Off the corner they come. This time out, it'll be 28 laps to go as the leaders cross the stripe. Rockwood, Weller, and Neumeister are literally bumper to bumper through 1 and 2, going around lap traffic. Here comes Weller for the lead.
Weller having a look to the inside. There's more slower traffic coming up. Rockwood's going to do the same thing, not leave a whole lot of room, but he left a car for Andy Weller to try to drive through. Weller still on the inside looking for the lead.
Neumeister with him side by side. They lean on each other through the corner.
Andy Weller's such a veteran. If he had stuck himself on the apron, he was screwed. So he just moved Neumeister up one groove to get himself a little bit of banking to lean on, and it was able to keep him that second position for the time being.
Look at the leaders trying to thread through the lap traffic now. The leader, Rockwood, on the outside of 3 lap cars. Now Weller has cleared himself a Neumeister, and the top 3 now making the top 5 are all nose to tail and running that outside line.
What a great battle. Great display of racing out here by these pure stock drivers. It has got to be roasting hot inside those cars.
Yeah, it's got to be a hot ride down in there this afternoon as the leaders now get a little bit of breathing gap before they get to the next pack of lap cars. Rockwood, Weller, Neumeister, Kahn, and Hills now will clear the rest of the lap traffic. I believe it's Phil Gibbons, back there in that 6th spot. He's got a bit of a gap between he and the top 5.
I was just going to talk about Phil. It surprised me that he didn't qualify into the inversion. Started a little deeper in the field than we would have liked in that Caldecott-sponsored number 0, but he's made a nice charge. Also, one of the cars I circled as a best appearing, but I think I'm leaning towards the 8 ball, Greg.
I think we have it. We may be giving that away, but very nice looking machine there for Kyle Lucas.
Yeah, every time I look at it go by, I'm trying to find reasons not to choose it, but just a nicely designed car.
Leaders across the stripe another time. 22 laps left to go. Rockwood's got some more breathing room as Weller begins to drop back, and now looks like he will pull it off into the pit area.
Bummer for Andy Weller in the 90 machine. His day ends early. Now it's up to Neumeister to see if he can close in on Rockwood. Just like the mini stock race, a yellow flag would change everything.
That it would, and right now, no signs of that as we are approaching the halfway point. This time by, we'll see the cross flags from Cameron Thompson. Neumeister right there on the back bumper of the 90 of David Rockwood as they roll it through corner 4.
One thing we're seeing in this pure stock race that we really did not see in the mini stock race, and we got a battle for the lead.
Neumeister up on 3 wheels, getting it done down in corner number 1.
The pack hasn't dispersed in this race like it did in the mini stocks. The mini stocks, you'd have 2 or 3 cars battling here and there. Right now, the top 5 or 6 are out on their own. Everyone else is still in a big clump.
So there, David Rockwood, Kyle Neumeister, 1 and 2. Then a gap back to Chris Kahn back there in position number 3, who's got Jillian Hills right behind him. Phil Gibbons now has worked up into the top 5.
Down into turn number 1, Neumeister again, and he is not doing what Andy Weller did to him. Possibly, now Andy Weller may have flattened a right front tire. That might have been what put him out of this race, and if he did, it was from that kind of contact racing with another car. But if Neumeister can get far enough up alongside Rockwood, he doesn't have to drive on the apron. See, he's just above the seam in 1 and 2, gets such a better run down the backstretch.
And that run is going to propel him into the top spot.
We got yellow flag. We got a wheel loose in turn number 4. Thankfully, it stayed in the ballpark.
Almost collected our leaders up there. David Rockwood had to make evasive action. There you see the loose wheel rolling down into the infield. I thought it was going to hit the cone. That was disappointing. First caution of the afternoon here at Flamboro Speedway. And that tire is not done. It's making its way back up onto the track. There you see the 10 machine. Courtney Scott out of Dundas comes to a rest up against the wall in corner number 4. That was a contender for best appearing this afternoon as well, I believe.
There's a lot. Courtney Scott, Phil Gibbons, The 48 I thought looked really clean and good. There's a lot of good-looking cars. I mean, I can remember when gear stocks were nothing but duct tape numbers on whatever color the car was when you bought it from the scrapyard.
A lot of effort gone into these machines here this afternoon, and one team that did something special this year, for this event coming in, is the Lawrence team. The 78 of Joe Lawrence and the 28 of Chris Lawrence. And what they did, they offered up free sponsorship on their cars, knowing that this was going to be broadcast. And here we'll have a quick look at that tire coming loose on the replay here and just rolling its way down the racetrack. But the Lawrence race team did something cool, and they offered up the hoods of their race cars to get some free exposure for some companies that obviously had a struggle through this COVID-19 situation. There you see all of the supporters on the hood of the Lawrence race team. A tip of the cap to them to reach out and made some news. They were on the local news with this as well. So if you see your logo on that hood right there, thank you for supporting motorsports, and know that we are all with you, and what better time to support local businesses than right now. So take note of everyone on the hoods there of those race cars. But great gesture by the Lawrence racing team.
I agree, Greg. What do you think Clinton's doing down there in his fire suit?
I can think of a couple things.
I know the cooler full of water is up here on the wrong side of the racetrack. And it makes me chuckle.
Well, he is down there, but obviously some microphone issues. So unfortunately, we won't be able to catch up with Clint down there.
Well, guys, you got me here?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So situation with the Courtney Scott car, it looked like the right front severed right off when they picked up the wheel. All the lug nuts and the hub were still connected to the backside of the Vagrant tires that got away. The brake rotor and a lot of the hub are shared off, so when you get a look at this, when they tow it by, try and get a good look at that right front. But heavy right damage to the Courtney Scott machine as she's lost the entire hub and the wheel, guys.
So Clint, you can hear us okay down there?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think he can.
Yes, he can. He just gave us the thumbs up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to be careful what I say now. If I knew he could hear me all along, I wouldn't have said half the stuff I said.
So again, you see our great shot from corner two. And that big blue building right there, the pagoda, that's where we are. We're standing there right now. And we're in some shade. A fantastic afternoon, and the number 10 machine's about to come by there down in corner number 2, so hopefully we're not going to get a camera shot because we're going to be on camera. Unfortunately.
Not me. I'm pulling a Greg Callan. I got my face in my computer working on lineups for the Superstock race. Normally this is the part of the program where I make fun of Greg Callan for not having his head in the game.
I think we're going to get a shot here on the wall cam of Courtney Scott's number 10 as they tow it by here, so that will be our shot. We're sorry, we didn't mean to take all the camera time. No, I guess we're not going to be able to see that, but nonetheless a hard lick up there in corner number 4, and situation for Courtney Scott in car number 10. As the white flag comes out, we'll go back under the green flag here momentarily. Kyle Neumeister, David Rockwood at the front of the field. Chris Kahn, Jillian Hill's back there in row 2. Phil Givens and Stephen Finnegan back there in row 3. Bobby Mercer in the 71. Don York in the 53 back in 8th. Joe Lawrence in the 9th spot. Jordan Morris running in 10th right now. Has the Bennett GMC pace truck ready to pull off into the infield and bring us back to the green flag. 17 laps left to go for the Pure Stocks.
Neumeister with a great start down into 1 and 2. Gets his line all by himself. Everybody else still stacked up. Rockwood has put himself into that second position, and now they're side by side for third. Kahn on the inside. Jillian Hill's up on the outside.
Dykstra really gets a big advantage that time on that restart. Rockwood back in second, door-to-door behind him as they work down the backstretch. And for a few drivers, this is that caution they were waiting for to see if they had anything for the top 10.
Right now, the answer is no. I'm looking at Phil Givens. He was one I thought a yellow would really benefit, but he's kind of got boxed in with traffic, and he's not able to get anywhere in that zero machine. Contact out of turn number 2, and one car really slow.
And a wheel comes off and up and over the concrete barrier on the backstretch, and that car has come to a stop up in corner number 3. As the caution flag will now come out. I believe it was Stephen Finnegan in the 26. Yes, it is. Parked up against the wall, so was up there inside the top 10.
This is where Darrell Waltrip used to sing.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier. But.
Yeah. I had a good chat with Andy Weller earlier. He fell out of this race. We were sitting there. He says, I didn't know you raced hobby cars. I said, yeah, I ran for a couple of years. He says, what'd you say, 1981? Andy, I was 6. Oh, I don't think time, he doesn't understand time. He's a youthful soul in a well-aged body.
And you're the reverse.
Yeah.
Well, a good run for Stephen Finnegan in that 26 machine, but that's going to come to an end up against the turn 3 wall, and that tire escaped the vehicle quickly. Let's watch the replay. And back, to the right of your screen. Contact there. Hard to see on our monitors here exactly, but the tire did skip up and over the backstretch wall. As we're back into the caution flag, well, we had none in the mini stock race, and now our second caution of the race comes out for the pure stocks. With now 14 laps left to go.
And thankfully that wheel cleared the wall, but not the fence, Greg.
Yeah, there was actually one of the pit crew members right there in the area, so that's why the fencing is there. And there you see the Finnegan 26 machine on the hook now and getting ready to head into the pit area. Let's get another look at it here. And it's going to be to the right of your screen, 5th place car right there. It's off the corner, and I don't believe anything more than just the wheel broke off and skipped over the wall. As you see the Finnegan 26 now getting the tow around the track.
You know, Greg, I was thinking about the divisions today, the pure stocks, the mini stocks, the super stocks. Rarely are they a premier class on the bill of a program, but you know what? The budgets might not be quite the same as some of the classes we've seen in Operation Green Flag, but the heart of these racers is every bit as big. Their excitement to be here today and put on a show, you could feel it when you walk through this pit area.
Yeah, you talk about the budgets not being the same, but on a lot of these race teams, the amount of hours spent in the shop are just that the same as those the big dollar divisions, and that all comes from, like you said, a heart for the sport, a heart for racing, and just a desire to go out and compete. And that's the same across the board, no matter what division you're in. And it's great that we get a chance to showcase them here this afternoon at Flamboro Speedway as the white flag about to come out from Cameron Thompson. Field doubles up behind the Bennett GMC pace truck, and next time by we'll be back to the green flag with 14 laps to settle it here in this 40-lap pure stock main event. Still to come, super stocks will go for 50 laps here at Flamboro. Greg Kelman here in the tower along with Adam Ross. Clinton Jeffrey down trackside. Beautiful afternoon just outside of Hamilton, Ontario. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. Pace truck pulls off in corner number 3. Neumeister and Rockwood, they've been fighting it out all afternoon in this one. Here they come, back to the green flag. Tight pack, back down the front stretch. And off they fire into corner one.
Neumeister again with a good launch. Rockwood having to fend off Kahn in that 48. Down on the bottom, right behind them. The field much tighter this time out of turn 2, with the exception of Neumeister out in front than they were on that last restart.
Neumeister will come across the line, make it 13 laps left to go. It's door to door for that second spot. Kahn making a charge to get back up there. He's been amongst the leaders here throughout this race. Side by side with Rockwood, they go down the back stretch and into 3.
Kahn's doing a great job, again, running down on that apron. If he gets his right side tires above that seam with that little bit of banking, I think he'll be able to get a run on Rockwood, and he does down into 1. Will he come up the track? Yes, he does. So give Kahn that second spot, and he has worked a long time for it.
And Jillian Hills is going to follow suit now and take the third spot away from Rockwood. That car looks to be very well hooked up, that 32 machine of Jillian Hills. Very talented driver. She's got wins on asphalt, dirt, you name it. And here she is riding behind Kahn in that third position.
Yeah, I don't know if she has the kind of speed that Neumeister has out in front, but I don't know if anybody has his kind of speed. Once he's got out front, he's really put some distance on the rest of the field.
And we talked about well-prepared teams. That Kyle Neumeister team is just that. They put a lot of effort into their racing program, and it's showing here this afternoon. Out in front by about 8 car lengths over Chris Kahn, Jillian Hills, as they worked it off of corner 4, and this time by, it's 9 laps left to go.
Got a slower car on the back straightaway, the 13, up against the outside wall. Not making much of an attempt to get to the infield, so this may force a caution. Yes, the yellow flag indeed flies. We're going to slow them down once again and stack them up.
Third caution of the afternoon here in this pure stock event after going green to checker in her mini stock race earlier on. Carl Salt picking up the win in that for Will Gibbons. In a closely contested mini stock race. Now the pure stocks have 3 cautions here in their 40-lap event. As we see Russ Couture slow down the front stretch, and looks like he'll take the high line around and into pit area. So it might be a quickie caution here. We shouldn't have to spend too much time slowing things down. We see the pace truck back out, picking up leader Kyle Neumeister. Again, if you're tuning in live, you see some fans on the front stretch grandstands. Those are pit crew members that are watching here this afternoon. Each team allowed to bring 5 crew members. That's including the driver. So the driver plus 4. And because we do have 3 divisions packed with nearly 30 cars in each division, we wanted to make sure we had plenty of room, and the best way we could distance them is have them in the main grandstands instead of the backstretch grandstands. So some pit crew members here, spotters up in the higher area there. And just a fantastic afternoon here at Flamboro Speedway. I want to thank the Caselli family and their staff for all that they've done to make these 2 Operation Green Flag events possible. Again, next Saturday we will be back at it once again. We'll be at the Merrittville Speedway where we were last Saturday night, 7 o'clock, and it will be the small block modifieds along with the Hoosier Stocks. And we'll also see the first 360 sprint car race of the season at Merrittville down in Thorold, Ontario, 7 o'clock here on GForceTV.net. And, of course, Humberstone Speedway the following night. Late model sportsman, mini stocks, and the action sprint tour, 7 p.m. Sunday, July 12th. GForceTV.net.
Kind of wish I had an RV for that weekend. I think that would be an awesome night just to have a trailer, crash out at the racetrack, and have a short commute for those days.
White flag coming out on the field now this time. And next time around, we'll get back at it with 9 laps left to settle it in the pure stocks. Does anyone have anything? Kyle Neumeister, he was part of that inversion, correct, Adam? He had quite a bit of work to get to where he is.
And his fastest lap is only a 1/10 of a second faster than Chris Kahn. I'm looking down to see if anyone's really run a lap that quick. No, the 2 of them have the fastest laps of the race. But it's who's got the best car at the end of the race when the money's on the line, Greg.
We're about to find out. 9 laps left to settle it. green flag goes back in the air. They come door to door down the front stretch. Let's see if Neumeister gets the good start this time. Well, Kahn will hold right with him. He edges out front down at 1.
Kahn might learn that he really likes it up on the outside. You know, he's not a regular here at Flamboro Speedway. I believe a competitor over at Sunset Speedway. It's a lot different racetrack, so he might find that his car loves the banking, loves being able to keep wound up, and Kahn leads that lap at the stripe.
A little bit of contact on the front stretch. Here they go down in 1 and 2. Kahn committed to that outside line. Neumeister looked like he may have touched him there in corner 2.
Remember, cut tires can really be an issue with these race cars, so Neumeister battling hard, and he'll clear Kahn, but we'll watch to see if that contact might have caused any issues.
Yep.
Look at the right front wheel of Neumeister. It's all shined up.
Looks as though the right front fender also a little bowed out at the very nose of the car, so we'll keep an eye on that as he works it down the front stretch. This time by 6 laps left to go. Definitely made some contact there.
And you know, when you do that, he's really lucky it didn't rip out a valve stem or cut that right front tire. It sometimes takes a couple of laps if you put a little cut in it and the air slowly starts to come out, but it'll let him know fairly quickly here. Are my eyes deceiving me, or is that right front? I haven't been paying attention, but it really rolls hard when he goes into the corner.
He's got to hold on to it now for 4 more laps. We'll have another look at it as he comes by. Good battle back there for third, Jillian Hills and David Rockwood, but here comes the leader down in corner number 1.
It just looks awful squishy to me. But you would have seen it. Like, if you could see it being squishy, it would have affected the handling by now, because the right front really holds these cars in a line on these oval tracks.
Beginning to put some distance on himself. And Chris Kahn in that second spot. Jillian Hills rides in third. David Rockwood fourth. Phil Gibbons in the 5th spot. And a nice run by Joe Lawrence, who had drifted back a bit. Now is back into the 6th position.
2 laps to go, says Cameron Thomas from the flag stand. 2 sticks in the air. Kyle Neumeister with a comfortable 6 car length lead. In fact, the only battle, maybe Joe Lawrence can slide up and put a challenge on the 0 of Phil Gibbons.
Cameron Thompson has the white flag in hand. He'll display it to the field. Kyle Neumeister needs 1 more trip around. Kahn is there, but he just needs this 92 machine to hold up 1 more lap.
1 clean lap for Kyle Neumeister, and he will pick up the checkered flag, takes it down into 3, may close in on that slower car.
Off of corner number 4, double checkers in the air. Kyle Neumeister will pick up the win over Chris Kahn. Jillian Hills will wind up on the podium as well. David Rockwood, who started on the outside of the front row, finishes 4th. And it's Phil Gibbons back there in the 5th position. 6 through 10, Joe Lawrence, Chris Lawrence, Kyle Novus, the 90P of Steve Aaron, and the 53 of Don York. The top 10 here at Flamboro Speedway in the Pure Stock division. As they head down to victory lane, 1 more race to come. It is the Superstock, set for 50 laps here at Flamboro Speedway. Kyle Neumeister making his way down to our Clinton Jeffrey. Down in the infield, there was the drop of the green flag as the 78 of Joe Lawrence and David Rockwood started on the pole for this one.
And it was another quality race, Greg, as we have a look at these highlights. There was a bit of people leaning on each other, but that's what you're supposed to do in fendered short track racing.
Saw a bit of that. First few caution flags of the afternoon, and it looks like Clinton Jeffrey has caught up with our winner, Kyle Neumeister.
Thanks, guys. Out here of the 92 car, we'll get a quick word with them. Kyle Neumeister climbs out here, and he picks up the Pure as part of Operation Green Flag at Flamboro Speedway. Come on out, Kyle, we'll get a word with you. for you in this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we really did beat the heat today, but I'm definitely feeling it right now.
Talk about the track here today. It seemed a bit slippery and a little bit greasier. This hot sun causing some issues for you guys out there?
Yeah, the sun's definitely heating up the track, but, you know, rubber's your friend, so as long as you got enough of it, you can turn the laps and make it through.
Solid job. Who do you want to thank?
I just want to thank, as much as I want to thank the people on the car, I got to thank the people that are, you know, making it through this tough situation right now. COVID's a really bad thing, and we've struggled with it. I lost a job, and you know what? My family's here, and I got to thank them.
There's Kyle Newmeister from Mitchell, Ontario. We'll get over here. In second and third place, Chris Kahn and Jillian Hills. Chris, come on over here for us. Talk about your drive, man. First off, you're not a regular here at Flamboro. How's it mean for you to be on the podium today?
Oh, it's fun. It's great. You know what? We don't get out here very often, and this is a great track to run. I want to say hey to my mom first. She's sitting there watching it, and the whole crew that put this car together, Peterborough Speedway, that helped out, let test the car, and you know what? Running against these guys, it was awesome. There's a good bunch of guys and girls out here, fast. You know what? And it was a good day. It's hot, but it's a good day.
Yeah, but Chris Kahn, we'll get over here and talk to Jillian Hills. Jillian, you got a lot of experience here at Flamboro. You know, 2 classes out there. Were you feeling comfortable by the end?
Oh, I'm always comfortable in this car. I've got thousands of enduro laps on it. I wasn't expecting it to be this quick today, and I'm more than happy to be third.
Great job, Jillian. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 tonight, Kyle Newmeister, Chris Kahn, and Jillian Hills. Get it done here at Flamboro in the Pure Stocks, guys.
Thank you very much, Clinton. When we come back, it's going to be time for the Superstocks. 50 laps will be the distance here on Operation Green Flag.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
What I love about racing is that it's so unique. And when you go back to school, everyone just thinks it's really cool because they haven't really heard of it before. Also, I love that you get to spend time with lots of friends. I've made lots of friends here at the track that I know I'll be friends with for a very long time.
What I like about go-karting is racing, the aggressiveness, and spending time with my family.
I love go-karting because you meet a lot of friends and you get to go fast.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GForceTV.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me, aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Operation Green Flag mission, Flamboro Speedway, 2 races down, 1 to go. Superstocks on the track, 50 laps their distance. Adam Ross for the starting lineup.
This one's going to be a lot of fun. We inverted the top 6 starting positions, so inheriting the pole out of Otterville, the Spark Power Corp, Rock 100 Camo, Castrol Edge. Number 21 is Rick Verburn. On the outside of row number 1 from Shallow Lake, the Bernard's Truck Service, Bear Wheel and Brake. Number 77 is Jake Zevenbergen. Starting third from Barrie, the Middleton Motorsports, PumpMyTank.ca, B&A Lawn Care. Number 11 is Ethan Constable. And starting fourth from Walkerton, the TJM Construction, R&B Welding, number 36 of Kenny Grube. Rounding out the top 5 from Coldwater, the Executive Brands Promotional Pro Sport Select, number 90 of Jordan Latimer. Starting 6th, our fastest time from earlier this afternoon out of Newmarket, the Way Freight Trucking Services First Choice Roofing, number 17, Garrett Teamersma. Starting 7th out of Strathroy, the McRobert Fuels Damon Optimal Health Team Days Fabricating, number 9 is Andrew Ferreira, and on the outside of row number 4 from Durham, the Struck Energy Systems Caldecott Millwright Services, number 71, Corey McAllister. Starting 9th from Innisfil, the Zolo Realty Ryan's Landscape, number 48 is Colton Everingham, and starting 10th from Walkerton, the Marvin Freiberger and Sons Kenworth Truck Centers, number 37 of Marvin Freiberger. Starting 11th from Cambridge, the London Recreational Racing Graybar Canada Air Crane Services, number 13 is Brad Collison, and starting 12th from Walkerton, the Bester Forest Products, number 33 is Roy Wilkie. Starting 13th from Freelton, the A-Tail Communications Shaw Motorsports, number 27 is Steve Cashmore, to his outside from Hamilton. The Barton Auto Parts RDJ Auto Sales and Service, number 10C, Dennis Sobalski. Starting 15th from Grafton, the Boundy Roofing, Mark Rainford Auto Center, number 08 of Paul Boundy. Starting 16th from North Bay, the Humberview Parts, Passagwee Trucking, number 29 is Paul Pepper. Starting 17th from Bancroft, the Linval Contracting, number 99 is Tim Burke. Starting 18th from Burkton, the Ty-Sid Lawn Care, Gorski Roofing, Homestead Furniture and Appliances, number 46 of Tyler Bouillon. Starting 19th from Omimi, the Web Transmissions, Beat Junk-Free Affordable Junk Removal, number 15 is Rob Richards. Starting 20th out of Hamilton is the number 7 of Matt Young. Starting 21st from Peterborough, the Jiffy Lube Peterborough Napa Auto Parts, number 53 of Victor Vowles. Starting 22nd from Ingersoll, the Radar Auto Parts, Mitchell Cycle, number 07 of Bill Berkelmans. Starting 23rd from Waterford, the Presley's Pumpkin Patch Freedom Village of Canada, number 31 of Kevin Gallant. And starting 24th in the Ryan's Landscaping, number 82, it's Nick Tooley. Quick note about Kevin Gallant and the 31. They went out to practice today and snapped one of the studs in the head of that engine. Ralph Book, who was on the Wall of Fame here at Flamboro Speedway, drove home to get the parts that were necessary, came on back, and Kevin Gallant is going to start deep in this field, but he has a chance, Greg.
And before we get to this one, Adam, we've had a lot of people ask, what's the difference between the Superstock and a late model?
I prefer when you ask rhetorical questions, Greg.
You always set me up with questions, so I thought I'd set you up with one.
I'm gonna say, as time goes by, you know, there used to be the street stock division and challenger division and late model sportsman and late model and super late model. And as technology advances, a late model becomes a pro late model, and what's left over kind of becomes a super stock. To look at these cars, there is very little difference. One of the main differences is the tire that they run on. They don't run on the same slick tire. They do run an American Racer tire, but it's not a wide slick like a late model runs on. A lot of differences in what they're allowed to do in the suspension, what they're allowed to do in the engine. But if you were to look at a late model race from 15 years ago, Greg, the cars probably didn't look as good as these do.
Well, I think you nailed that. Good job.
Yeah, it's pretty weak.
And for the record, we also need to go back to best appearing pure stock. Are we in agreement with?
Oh yeah, I think the 8-ball has it.
There we go. Congratulations, Kyle Lucas. As we get set, I believe this time by we'll see the white flag on board there. For the moment, we were with, I believe, is the 21 of Rick Verburn. And now we're looking out the back of the Bennett GMC Pace truck. Great shot there.
That'll give us a good look as well. How about Zevenbergen's car? Is that a throwback or what? I just bought that car on iRacing not long ago.
Beautiful machine right there. As we get set next time by to the green flag and the Superstocks. 50 laps will be the distance. And the Bennett GMC Pace truck will pull off down in corner number 3 into the infield 2x2. They are stacked up, ready to go. The main event. comes to the double greens. 50 laps for the Superstocks.
Good clean start down into turn number 1. Rick Verburn with the lead down the backstretch. Zevenberger trying to find room to slide down in line. It's not going to be right now. He's going to hang up on the outside in that white number 77 and battle for that second spot.
Ethan Constable there in that second position. Runner of the Sunset Speedway. He'll clear the position and grab second away from Zevenberger. Now here comes Grube down to the inside, the 36.
Grube down low. He's been at this game for a little while. Always has nice looking race cars.
That he does. Oh, just barely tucks in line there for that third spot.
We've got a smoker in around the middle of the field. I don't know if it's Colton Everingham or Brad Collison. Somewhere in and around that 9th, 10th spot. There's a lot of smoke coming up here in turn number 1 when they come down into the corner.
Close racing back there. In fact, they go wheel to wheel and rub doors a little bit there. Everingham and Freiberger, and Collison now will work to the inside of Freiberger.
Yeah, Freiberger trying to hang on the outside there. Colton Everingham was racing him hard. Brad Collison's going to drive him hard. Give him that spot. Brad Collison picks up another one. Freiberger tried to get down in front of Steve Cashmore, but Cashmore asserted himself in that spot, and now Dennis Sobalski going to try to do the same.
Yeah, here's the battle we've been discussing right here. Everingham in that black and orange number 48, and then right behind him is where you see Collison in the 13. As they work it down to the corner, Marvin Freiberger, the first car out of line basically. He's tucked on that outside line and losing ground.
There's a couple of ways to race here at Flamboro Speedway, and they used to call them groundhogs. They're always looking for the bottom of the racetrack. Some people, they'll race the line that they're in. If Freiberger's stuck on the outside, it almost seems like he's focused too much on trying to get down than he is on trying to drive as fast as he can up in that outside groove and make it work.
That's Verburn right now leading the way. He's in car number 21, leads it down the back stretch with the 11 of Ethan Constable. There you see Kenny Grube now. Took a look down to the inside. Lap car right in front here, so the leaders will have to work gingerly by that car.
And that slower traffic moves well down out of the way, giving lots of room. Looking at Kevin Gallant, who's had to start way back in this field. He's won a lot of races here at Flamboro Speedway, but he's got a long way to go. But he looks like he's got some speed. He's really getting through the center of the corners quickly.
Yeah, and he's got to take his time out at the same time to get by some of these cars in front of him, but he definitely looks quicker than the rest of the bunch as we watch the field go down the back straightaway. This time by 40 laps to go.
They tore off 10 laps in a hurry in this Superstock race. Verburn out in front by 6 car lengths over Ethan Constable.
Here comes Kenny Grube down into corner number 3. Look low on Constable as Constable goes high up in corner number 4 across the line. Verburn leads the lap. Here comes Grube in the 36. He's got the advantage in that Ford Mustang.
Grube's got a nose to the inside. Ethan Constable doing a good job up there, but Grube picking up about 2 feet of race car for every corner. So we got up to the 11 on Constable. Now we'll try to get up to about the left front, and he'll draw even going into the corner. Constable rolls around the outside, and now Constable got a really nice run through too, so Grube has to start over again.
Work it again down in 3 and 4. Great battle for that second position, and a good one going on behind them for 4th and 5th. As Teamers and Zevenberger were all sorts of sideways in 4.
That's how my iRacing Chevrolet drives as well when I drive the 80s version. They become a real handful.
Rick Verburn is out for a cruise right now. He's not got a huge advantage, but he hasn't had a lot to deal with right now, but he's getting a rear view mirror full of Kenny Grube, who's closing the distance quickly.
We're going to have a look at lap times here as they're about to complete lap number 15. I'm not usually a big fan of doing this, Greg, but it tells a story, and yeah, more than 0.2 of a second, Grube is faster than Verburn. How much of that is willpower? How much of that is Verburn not really stressing his car just yet?
34 laps left to go. Verburn now catching another lap car, but Grube is right there on his back bumper. Gets a great run on the inside line, and he's going to have a good launch into 3.
That's a 1968 Chevelle they're putting a lap down. Normally runs with the Oscar Hot Rods. I believe that's Matt Young.
And earlier this week, that car didn't look like a race car. Mike Westwood did his best to put it together as we see a change in the top of the scoreboard. This time by, looks like Kenny Groom is going to hold the command at the start-finish line.
Verburn didn't put up an awful lot of a fight just there. I wonder if he feels the car will come back to him. Let's see if he can keep pace with Groove. Now that Groove is out in front. Remember, our fast timer was Garrett Teemersma. He's up into the 4th position right now, but it doesn't look like he's really making huge gains on Ethan Constable at the moment.
Verburn staying tied right back to the back bumper of Groove as they go down the back stretch. This time by, be 20 laps complete and 30 to go, so still plenty of racing to go in this one. And you're right, Verburn may just have said, you know what, it's maybe a little too early to force the issue right yet.
You know, we talked about one of the big differences between these cars and the late models is the tire. If you overwork the car and overheat the tire, it will not come back to you. It just gives up, says, screw you, you put me through too much. So I think there's going to be some tire conservation going on to have something for that last 10, 15 laps.
And even if we don't see a caution in this one, there is still lap traffic to play a factor, and the leaders are beginning to catch some decent cars with some good speed as Groove will work around one this time by on the front stretch, but that will also be another opportunity for Verburn and others to catch leader Groove.
Good battle deeper in the field. Jordan Latimer in the 90 trying to hold off the 71 of Corey McAllister. McAllister looks to be a little bit quicker than the 90 right now. He's being awful polite at the moment.
See some tire marks on that 48 of Colton Everingham from earlier on in this race. As we continue on, we're approaching the halfway point. Next time by will be the halfway mark of this Superstock race.
Amazing how fast these races have gone so far here today. Whoa, Kevin Gallant, all sorts of sideways in turn number 4, trying to make a move on Burke in the 99. Got on the throttle, couldn't hang on to the car. That allowed Berkelmans to the outside, and it looks like Berkelmans might be able to complete that pass.
That's some good action back there. Oh, Berkelmans goes way up the track that time. Gallant on the bottom. He's got Marvin Freiberger behind him. A little contact on the front stretch.
There again, Kevin Gallant has raced here a long, long time. He knows how much racetrack he needs to give a driver. He knows how far he can push that car. That was a fun battle to watch.
Leader across the stripe. That time by 23 laps to go for Penny Group. Rick Verburn has stayed right there. He's only maybe 4 car lengths back. Still can see the leader and Ethan Constable. And Garrett Teemersma also right there within striking distance. So this one long from over still for 20 laps left of racing to complete.
You know, there's times when you want a caution to close in the gap. Right now, I want them to catch that pack of slower traffic because I think it'll be really exciting.
Well, they're getting there, and it's going to be a tough pack to get by. When you look at some of the drivers that are in the thick of it, they're all racing for position right now. And now the caution flag will finally come out.
I think it might have been for Latimer in the 90.
Slow up in 3 and 4. So the first chance for some of these drivers to catch a breather. Here in the Superstock 50-lap main event, 22 laps left on the scoreboard. And this will give a chance to some of these drivers that were close to going a lap down to get caught back up. We think of Kevin Gallant, Tim Burke back there. Bill Berkelmans was also back in that pack of cars that were pretty close to being surpassed by the leader. Now Jordan Latimer, yeah, he's down right here in front of us, and he is boiling over in that 90. We can see the fluids coming out from under the hood. And he just, he's trying to motion, I want to push to the pit area. That one is definitely percolating down here in front of us.
It is a warm day, Greg. You don't see cars overheat now as much as we used to 20 years ago. The advances in the engines, for one, the fact that they use crate engines, so they're not a wildly overused motor, like it's not an overstressed engine.
Let's see if we can get a shot of it there in 2 maybe. Yeah, so look, just top of the hood where the windshield is, and if you have a look, you can see the fluids coming down the side of the car and bubbling over.
And that's a dummy spec. For drivers who can't read the gauge on the dash that says, hey, we're overheating, you can't tell your crew chief when you come into the track, I didn't know, I didn't see the gauge because it's blasting all over your windshield.
Need that for gas gauges. I seem to be the only one that knows where the gas gauge is on any of our vehicles.
I seem to be the only one that knows where the gas station is for any of our vehicles.
Okay, yeah, true. Well, some great racing action here at Flamboro Speedway. Glad you could join us here on GForceTV.net. If you're watching, make sure you click on that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when we have new content on the channel. Of course, next Saturday night, as I mentioned before, we'll be back to the Merrittville Speedway for small block modifieds, Hoosier stocks, and 360 sprint cars. And then the following night, on Sunday, July the 12th, we'll be back to Humberstone Speedway where we started the Operation Green Flag events. And on that night, Dirt Sportsman will be on the card. We'll have a late model open along with mini stocks and the Action Sprint Tour. We'll get back at it. So it's going to be a busy weekend down in the Niagara Peninsula next week with 2 nights of racing, Saturday and Sunday. No fans in attendance, but we'll have it for you free right here on GForceTV.net. And I've been told Mike Bowman is going to have a busy weekend. He's going to be running the 358 on Saturday night, and then on Sunday he'll be back with the Action Sprint Tour. Plus, they're putting a crate motor in the modified and competing with the Sportsman division. So he's going to be a busy guy next weekend as well.
You know, racers want to race, Greg.
Yep.
And I'm not saying other people that aren't able to right now. I totally understand. Mike Bowman is able to. So they'll do the work. They'll take the small block out of the car and put in a crate motor to be sportsman legal, change over the tires. Heck, Wade Thorne is in his 3rd Operation Green Flag event so far. He's driven a mini stock on the dirt, vintage modified here at Flamboro, and today a mini stock again at Flamboro, a different mini stock.
Yeah. Because at this point, we're not sure when the next race will be for a lot of these drivers, and keep playing it by ear.
While we've got some time as they clean up the track, I want to acknowledge sponsors of the Pure Stock race. Mike Schmidt from London Recreational Racing, Brent Pelly from P&R Motorsports, Jimmy's Small Engine Repair, Hooper Motorsports, Eric Stewart, Racing Photos, Paul Buck, Beefy Motorsports, Brandon Feeney, K-Hope Racing, Kyle Hope, Siskins Triple B Racing, Craig Cole, Leo LaBarbera, Kyle Lucas, Ben Dennis, MRC Racing, Megan Mitchell, FMC Truck and Auto, Mad Batter, Carrie German, Denise Parks, RBC Financial Planning, Brampton, Morin Family, Jen Morin, Brandon Burnett, Nick Clark, Phil Givens, Jaws Services, and Pedal Power. All of them donated anywhere from $20 up to well over $100 to support. I believe there were $1,200 in bonus awards for that Pure Stock race, Greg. And we've seen that throughout this series. People getting involved, wanting to help out the racers, the race tracks.
It's one big family, and there's been a lot of support from different areas and support, just to bring these broadcasts, to get the tracks to be able to compete with our fans in the stands, and it shows what a big family it's been. Greg Wilson asking, any more events scheduled after next weekend? At this point, we do not have any scheduled, but doesn't mean there won't be.
We had a budget, Greg, at G-Force to put together 6 events. So the track promoters are aware of what's available to them, but our budget at that point runs out after the 6. I have a feeling there will be more races. Just a matter of coming up with the model. I mean, we travel with a big team. The camera operators. Who have we got today? Dave Steyer's up on the front stretch. Greg Boydell here in turn number 1.
Sean
Robertson is somewhere out there. We've got a camera operator in my truck in turn number 2. Spencer and Daniel in the production booth. Mark Little is the one we're thinking, and Spencer thinks he's so smart. Mark Little's in turn 2 this week, Spencer, not turn 3.
He helps you out, and then you burn him.
I don't really throw him under the bus, but I'm the driver. I take it where I want.
I've got to repeat that. Spencer puts messages on the screen for us. It just said, shut up, Adam. Back to the green flag. The GMC, Bennett GMC pace truck pulls off, and we're going to get back at it here with the Superstocks completing their 50-lap event. Door to door down the front, stretching into one.
Rick Verburn had the tail wagging on that 21 coming off of turn 4. He was hard on the throttle. A little bit of contact with Grube in 1, and he had to chase that car all the way to the exit at 2. He's lucky to still have that second spot. Ethan Constable makes a bit of contact. Boy, oh boy, they are on it.
Good job by everyone involved there to stay going in the right direction as Grube leads over Verburn, Constable, Zevenbergen back there in 4th, and Teamersma riding in the 5th spot.
Yeah, I thought that restart would be a big opportunity for Garrett Teamersma, but I think he's in a worse spot now than he was.
20 laps left to go now. Top 6 have broken away. Colton Everingham right now is the other car in this lead pack that separated himself from the remainder of the field.
I never realized what a big guy Colton Everingham is. Contact out of 4 between Teamersma and Zevenbergen.
So the two of you see eye to eye. Backwards is Collison. Down into corners 1 and 2.
Come on, you gotta give it. Come on, Doug Leonard. He deserves a yellow for clearing the racetrack. If I know Brad Collison's gonna be ticked.
There it comes.
You have to. I haven't disagreed with Doug Leonard in a long time, but I used to quite a bit and quite vocally, and we're very good friends. We used to be better friends, I think, than we are now, and it could be because of some of the vocal things that I've said. But Doug Leonard last week, a car had spun off into the infield as Clinton Jeffries headed across the track, and they stayed under green. You've got to reward Brad Collison for getting out of harm's way there with a yellow to rejoin the back of the field. Clinton Jeffrey, take it away.
Well, guys, you got to be very impressed by the way he drove that car backwards through turns 1 and 2. Kept it down on the apron, arced it beautifully. He'll get a shove away from the Rays towing crew here. I don't think there's any marks on this Collison car. Did a good job keeping it down low. He'll get re-pushed off, and whether this is the game or not, Adam, this is the way you play it. You wait for the tow truck to come. You got the yellow. Had he just driven away, we know that would not have impressed Doug. And as I get a good look at the left side, no problems here for the Collison 13. The veteran will just get shoved off and get back to the tail end of the field.
So it looks like that machine. See if it'll refire on the back stretch here. Brad Collison, the London wreck.
Well, no smoke under the hood just yet for the 13 machine. And there it fires up and he'll drive away, guys.
That's a true veteran, Clinton. You let the truck push you away. We want to give a big shout out to Brandon Hurus, who was supposed to be here racing with us today, Greg. He couldn't make it. We understand he's battling himself, so wish you were here. All the best.
Absolutely. Next time by, we might be able to double things up.
My timing and scoring is a little off.
It's totally off.
It is a big black screen. I'm sure Spencer had something to do with it. 32 laps are complete, 18 laps remaining. We know that much. Was that right?
There we saw on screen the 7 of Matt Young. Talked about that car a little bit earlier, and Mike Westwood. That car over the week didn't look like much of a car when the week started, but in true Mike Westwood fashion, got it built and ready to go for this afternoon's race. I think it's a showpiece now.
Mike Westwood does some amazing work, that's for sure. 32 laps complete. He's involved with so many racers and race teams, does great fabrication work.
Cameron Thompson has the white flag in hand. He'll display it to the field, so next time we'll get right back at it. 19 laps left to go here for the Superstocks at Flamboro Speedway. Glad you could join us here on GForceTV. GForceTV.net. I'm Greg Kelman. With me, Adam Ross. Down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey. Ready to bring you the closing laps here for the Superstocks. That was a great restart last time for Rick Verburn. Let's see if he's got anything for Kenny Group here in the final 19 circuits.
Verburn did great coming off of turn 4, but he got contact, screwed him up in turn 1. Let's see if he can do a better job this time in 1 and 2. Not that he didn't do a good job last time, but contact will do that to you. But here, much better run off the back turn 2 and down the back straightaway for Verburn. They remain door to door in 3 and 4.
Paul Pepper also up there trying to find his way into the top 5 in that very nice looking number 29 machine. He worked to the inside of Colton Everingham. Meanwhile, at the front, Verburn right up under the tail tank of the 36.
Yeah, he'll try to put as much pressure on as he can. Garrett Teemersma looking to make a move again on Zevenbergen. Remember, they had some contact not too many laps ago.
Group puts a little bit of distance between he and Verburn right now as they work it off at corner number 2. Constable has just been there all afternoon in that third spot, it seems, kind of lurking behind these top 2. If they get tangled up, maybe he's in the catbird seat.
Steady Eddie doing a nice job. Verburn filled the rear view mirror of Group that time, making it look like he was going to try a move to the inside. I don't think he had too much to work with, but I think Verburn's starting to turn up the wick and keep the pressure on the race leader.
And if he was saving his car earlier, that's what he was saving it for, is this moment right now as we cross the line. It is 15 laps left to go. Grube out in front over Verburn, Constable, Zevenbergen, and the 17 of Teemersma.
One single file line from first back through about 8. They're all right there together. The 2 leaders now putting a bit of a gap between themselves and Ethan Constable. Rick Verburn looks to me like he's working much, much harder to keep pace than Grube is out in front.
13 laps left to go for Grube. Verburn continues to hang right there in that second spot.
There's smoke coming out the back of the 36, Greg.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that as they go down through 3 and 4. The gap remains the same. We watch him come down the front stretch. Let's watch him enter corner 1. Yep.
It's just a wisp of smoke where you would think, oh, big pile in turn 3.
Wow.
That's my old trick. Make him look over here while something really cool happens over there and we all miss it.
Wow.
Who's stacked up over there? I think that's Dennis Sabalski.
Matt Young is involved.
Tim Burke.
Tyler Bouillon.
That was a good team effort, Greg.
That's going to be an interesting video if anyone captured it. We were all watching the battle up front. See Tim Burke has the window net down to the 99.
Bill Berkelman in the 07 Radar Auto Parts machine. Lots of bits and pieces missing off of that car.
Fortunately, none of our cameras caught that as we were trying to cover the action at the very front of the field. So how that started will remain a mystery. We know how it ended.
Yeah, poorly.
When the brooms have to come out, you know it wasn't good.
Looks like they're going to pull the race towing flatbed over there to pull away the bullion number 46. Tim Burke is driving slowly away. Most of his damage, I believe, on the left rear corner of the car. This restart, I promise, I'm going to pay more attention to Garrett Teemersma because I still can't figure out. Every time there's a restart, it should be an opportunity because he's got a great fast car, but it's not working out for him.
Another guy that's looked good on the restarts has been the 29 of Paul Pepper, lurking outside of the top 5. That car is beautiful. 29 machine, another Image Wraps design.
So Grube and the Best of Forest Products 36. Oh, Clinton Jeffrey on the scene.
Well, y'all, with all kinds of problems down here in this car. As you can see, the whole right side tore up on it, and he's got major, major problems. Certainly not the way he wanted to get his first night underway. Tyler, are you okay, though? That's the main thing everybody wants to know.
For my mom and family at home, her nerves are probably going nuts. I'm all good. Got some work to do on the car, but we'll be back out this year, hopefully.
What happened in turn 3?
Cars just started spinning in front of me, locked up the brakes, and couldn't get stopped. So, yeah, just unavoidable, I guess.
I'll let you catch your breath. Take care of your car. There's Tyler Bouillon, obviously, with major, major problems on his car here, guys. The Race towing crew going to take a minute to pick it up.
Wow, some heavy damage to that. That was one of the nicer looking cars coming in here this afternoon. And
I'm hopeful it's mostly cosmetic. So the way a race car is built, and there's a difference between what a Superstock is and what an older style Challenger car would have been, or a street stock car. The left side of these race cars, everything is packed right against the left side. The driver's sitting over there, as much weight as you can put. The right side, you get everything as close to the center of the car, so it's just body braces out there. There are certain rules of what is the maximum allowable left side weight. So when we pull this car by our position, what you're going to see is a lot of open air on the inside of that race car, a lot of vacant space. So it can look worse than it is, but it's still not good, Greg.
"12 laps remain here for the Superstock. The event, already seen some great racing action for the mini stocks and pure stocks here this afternoon. Carl Salt, winner of the mini stock feature, and Kyle Neumeister picked up the pure stock win. Prior to this event, here for the super stocks, things cleaned up on the racing surface, but drivers getting checked out down there in the infield. And look at that car.
I've got a great deal of respect for Bill Berkelman, Matt Young. This is not a points race. It's not a series of any sort. This is just a one-off event. But to see drivers go in, rip some bodywork off of those race cars, I doubt there is a dollar difference in pay from where he would have finished and where he might be able to finish here. But a racer is a racer, and they're here to put on a show and have some fun. So the Berkelman 07 is out on the racetrack, minus the front end. Matt Young's 7 machine is out there, minus a few bits and pieces off of that pretty 1968 Chevette.
Again, do see a few folks in the main grandstand seating area, but those all, as we mentioned earlier, crew members for these race teams here this afternoon. And because of the quantity of cars and each team having 5 people allowed to come in and take part in this event, they decided to use the front grandstands to accommodate the seating rather than the tight pit grandstands.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And again, the teams have been understanding, the drivers have been understanding.
And right now, hearing a lot of chat and from different track promoters and seeing the discussions going on, and a lot of fans asking, when are you open? When are you racing with fans? And the general answer to everyone is right now, we don't know. We don't know when that will be, and none of them right now here in Canada at least have any race fans of any sort. And I think maybe sometimes fans see on Facebook or social media fans in the stands at races, but that's south of the border where things are different, and here we don't have those same abilities. So right now, we don't know when the next race is going to be available for you to be in person at here in Canada.
And thankfully, the United States has really shown Canadian rule makers that they're doing the right thing, Greg, as we see numbers absolutely go ridiculous in Florida and other places where they haven't done a whole lot. So hopefully we will remain responsible and be able to get back soon.
White flag comes out. Next time around, we'll get back to racing with 12 laps left to go. It was a very good restart last time for Rick Verburn, but still not able to capitalize enough to grab the lead away from Kenny Grube.
Nobody's picking away. He's learning a little bit. Garrett Teemersma up on the outside of row number 2. Ethan Constable on the inside of row 2. Here we go, back to the green.
Down the front stretch they come, door to door. Verburn on the outside gets a great launch into one, but Group's got it going on the bottom. They stay side by side, stacked up on the backstretch.
Ethan Constable used a lot of racetrack, squeezing Garrett Teemersma up towards the wall. We'll see if Teemersma battles back or shows displeasure, but at the front, here comes Rick Verburn looking to put a little bit of a bumper to the group number 36.
And they continue at it behind him with Constable, Teemersma, and Zevenbergen all right there within the top 5. And now into the mix is that 33 machine as well.
10 laps to go. 10 laps remain for these drivers out here. They've been putting on a fantastic show. Zevenbergen again all the way up alongside. Teemersma's number 17 out in front. Group continues to lead, and Verburn is ever so close.
Roy Wilkie in that 33 sitting in the 6th spot. He's just waiting for something to sort out in front of him. Between Zevenbergen and Teemersma, here comes Wilkie to the inside.
Showing some good speed late is Wilkie in that 33 machine. As he passes Teemersma, he's going to try to do the same to Zevenbergen.
Good racing all through the top 10. Oh, Teemersma gets the car sideways.
Took him a long time to save that race car. Lost himself a couple of spots there. Look at Verburn right up on the back bumper again of Grube as they come off of 4.
Hard to know what to watch right now. There's so much going on throughout the entire pack. Grube is the leader. Verburn in second. And Ethan Constables maybe had the coolest ride of the afternoon. He's had a nice gap between he and second and fourth all afternoon.
He looks to be closing in just a little bit on this lead duo as we've got trouble in 3 and 4. One car goes around. Bill Berkemans does a nice job of avoiding it. We'll see if we go yellow or not. We go yellow.
And it looks like the left front down on that 9 machine down there.
Where did Roy Wilkie come from? He looks to have maybe the best speed on the racetrack right now. One more pass. If he could have passed Zevenbergen to get up into the first 2 rows there on this restart, that would have been something. Looks like he'll have to restart 5th.
Andrew Ferreira.
That's who drives the number 9 machine, and ever so gingerly wheeling that car back towards the pit area.
The rubber is still attached, but barely. McRoberts fuels number 9. Get a shot at it there. You can see the left front doing the wobble.
Now that the field goes by, he'll be able to come up the racetrack, head towards the pits. I'm not sure where they were parked, Greg. So they assigned pit stalls based on the order with which people registered for this race. Since I have no idea when Ferreira registered for this race, I don't know where his trailer would be parked. Try to keep an eye on them as they head down into the pit lane, which at Flamboro Speedway, of course, the pits run all the way from the outside of turn 1 and 2 all the way to turn 3.
So far he's gotten to the pit shack on the back stretch there. Still gingerly coasting that car through the pit area. Whether or not he'll have enough time to get that left front change. But man, when we went back to the green flag, there's action throughout the remainder of the cars on the track. It was all sorts of action mid-pack. Garrett Teemersma, he had quite the handful there and lost some spots, but as you mentioned, Roy Wilkie has really come on. He's in the top 5 now. Driver from up around the Walkerton area. On board with Rick Verburn, one of our in-car cameras here this afternoon.
got some really kind messages, Greg, on Facebook, and people thankful that we're here putting on races, and we're thankful to you guys, the people that watch the races, the people that have a passion for the sport. You know, we all want to be together. We all want to do the stuff that we love, but we have been so very lucky to be part of these events and to present these events to you guys, and we can't wait for the time we can all be here and enjoy it. One of the questions I've been asked a few times by people that aren't used to the Southern Ontario racing scene, whatever happened to Junior Hanley? Is Junior Hanley still around? Junior Hanley's got his hands in more race cars at this racetrack, even today, than anybody else out there. He is still very active working on race cars and helping people make their cars faster. He has not slowed down much at all.
Probably the person with the most influence in this area and the least amount of talk. There's not much talk about Junior Hanley, but his presence is well known.
I've tried repeatedly to get Junior to do interviews over the years, and he doesn't want to, and I think the problem is he can't help but tell the truth. He says, you know, whenever I do interviews, people get mad at me because I say stuff. He knows a lot of things. He knows a lot of people over the years. He's been through a lot of situations, that is for sure.
Brad Collison rejoins the field, and no sign yet of Andrew Ferreira in the 9. So it looks like we're ready to come back to the green flag. The Bennett GMC Pace truck about to pull off. And another chance for Rick Verburn. Does he have anything for Kenny Grube with 6 laps left to settle it?
Down through 1 and 2 for Byrne with a big launch off of 2, and he's not going to make a move. He's just going to get to the back bumper of Grube, and you could see Grube, the veteran, settle his car down to let Verburn push him into 3, but still maintain control.
Off of corner 2 they go, and this time Grube will open up a bit of an advantage. Verburn there in 2nd, Constable running in 3rd. Wilkie now has worked his way into the 4th spot.
Both of the first 2 cars look tight to me, Greg. They don't look like they want to turn down into the corner. Wilkie is loose, and there's speed in a loose race car.
And that will give Ethan Constable maybe the first big attempt on his position that we've seen in this race. He's been comfortably in 3rd all afternoon, but Roy Wilkie right there all over the back bumper in his Mustang.
Wilkie has a look to the inside of Constable, out of 2, couldn't do it, he's back in line. Out in front, Grube is away by about 3 car lengths right now over Verburn.
2 laps left to go. Grube out in front of Verburn, and it looks like that advantage may hold on as Constable now back in 3rd. Wilkie has drifted back a little bit, and Pepper in 5th.
Grube is really running a defensive line, which surprises me because he's built an advantage. He's still running real tight to the bottom of the racetrack. Can Verburn take one more big swing down into 3, Greg?
Here they come. Final time through 3 and 4. Checkers coming out. Kenny Grube is going to pick up the win. Rick Verburn in 2nd. Oh! And one hard into the wall in corner number 4. Wow, that was a solid hit.
I don't know if he blew the engine going into the corner, but I saw it at the entry of 3. The car was just not slowing down one bit. And then a big fireball came out from underneath, and up into the wall he went. You can see the tire marks. He hit the wall, launched up into the air, and came to rest on the inside of turn 4.
Bill Berkelman's rather up in corner number 4, a big mark on the wall there where the car climbed the wall, and hopefully he's okay down there in corner number 4.
We just given him a big hats off for going back onto the racetrack with a bodywork tore off of that race car to put on a show and gain some spots. As we look at the rubber mark on the wall, hopefully Bill's going to hop out of that race car. I'm sure he will be plenty warm down there.
Top 3 will go down the back stretch entranceway into Victory Lane.
We got a replay, and yeah, the brakes failed on that car.
Wow.
Either the brakes failed or he blew up and was in his own oil, but he sailed that thing down into the corner. Great job by Dave Stiers to capture that from his position on the front straightaway.
Quentin Jeffrey down to victory lane. He's caught up with Kenny Grube.
Okay, Grube gets down here into Flamboro victory lane. He'll work on getting his helmet off as he gets the mask, and he'll get out here and have a word with us in just a moment. Solid run here for the as he battled with Rick Verburn most of the afternoon here. And this car we've seen run very good across the province in the previous seasons, and we'll wait for Ken to get out here. He jumps his G-Force mask on, and here he comes out of the number 36 Bester car. Congrats, Ken. You know, your veteran experience certainly seemed to look like it paid off at the end. You had to know Rick was going to take a poke at you, and you seemed to be setting the car down, getting it square, entering the turns in case he got the bumper to you, but he raced you clean.
Yeah, we raced each other clean on the restarts. I felt that they were top. It wasn't just enough to notice it wasn't that bad. It just got me really loose, not bad. I was backing the corners up because I didn't want to overshoot the corners and leave the bottom open, but she was working good.
Worked really well for you. Who helped you get here today, Ken?
Oh, got to thank Bester's. I get choked up. They gave me a good car to drive. I started driving for Lonnie Bester. He passed away 7 years ago, so he bought this car, so we did put a new body on it. It's his engine in here. He's just freshened it up. So the Bester family, Blue Water Sanitation, TJM Construction, RMP Mill Rating and Welding.
He's walking around the car now.
Leslie's Ford dealership walking. Who else we got here? Elweek's Elweek's backhoe and haulage. Shookie's Mechanical. And the guy that sets the car up is Brian Mack. He sets the car up for us. He makes the bodies for us. And I think I got everybody. Shookie's Mechanical. And I think that's it.
There you have it. Ken Grubb gets it done. We'll get over here and talk to Rick Verburn. Rick, you carried an on-car for us today. We got some great images, but second on the podium. You were in this race all day. Can you leave a little bit satisfied with second this afternoon?
Well, I think I can for my first time out here. What a fun track, man, and hats off to Flamboro Speedway and G-Force and everybody to put this event on. I'm super happy with the car. I mean, seems like I keep finishing behind that 36 car, and there's reasons for that. They're good, and but we had a really good car here, and I'm really proud of our debut run for sure.
Great job. You put it on the trailer in one piece. We get over here and talk to Ethan Constable. Ethan, you were late entry here today, but it paid off for you. A podium position in third behind two of the best guys in the province in the Superstocks. How about you? Can you leave happy today?
I'm very happy. We pulled it off the hoist last week, put some gas in it, and here we are.
Awesome job. Who do you want to thank?
All my sponsors on the car. I got LaFroy Plumbing, McNamara Power Line, Sturdy Power Line, RTI Equipment Solutions, Pump My Tank, Limray Farms. I haven't talked to them a lot yet because I wasn't going to race, but they'll know about it. And my dad, my mom, and Jordan and Dickie and everybody at home.
Solid job for Ethan Constable. He'll finish third. Just ahead of him, Rick Verburn will grab second. Your winner tonight, who picks up the Superstock win here at Flamboro, guys.
Down trackside for us this afternoon, as always. And Adam, we got to see 3 divisions of stock cars today. Some fantastic racing, and I don't think anyone can be disappointed with what we get to watch here this afternoon.
It was a really good show, Greg, and I've decided there's nothing I like more in motorsports than emotion in victory lane. I don't care what the emotion is, just show it.
Yeah.
Kenny Grube was very proud of that win, a little bit either choked up by winning or from having the spotlight on him. Not everyone likes that, but he earned it. A great display of driving, and Berkelman's car being towed by our location. It's about to come by our spot here in turn 1, and geesh, so sorry for what happened to him. Spencer, before we go, do you have that replay you can queue up? I'd love to show that after Bill's car comes by, and I'm sure it has been shortened up.
And Pierce Bill is okay after that, as we didn't see the need for the medical team to head down there. But we'll see if we can catch that just at the very tail end here. As that was a hard hit. Now there's the very tail end from down here in our corner 1 angle, but Dave Steyer's got a great shot of it heading into corner number 3, and we'll see if we can cue that up one last time. But nonetheless, a great super stock race. We went green to checkers for the mini stocks. Pure stocks put on a great show as well, and none of the races were a runaway by any means.
No, they weren't. Very proud. I've said it numerous times of all the teams that distance themselves. Look at this, Greg. Watch them go into the corner.
Wow. That's what you call a rut row moment.
Yeah. That's when you take your hands off the wheel, maybe close your eyes, but almost certainly hold your breath and brace for impact.
Well, we want to thank everyone for tuning in here this afternoon from Flamboro Speedway. Great afternoon of racing. The weather couldn't have been better, and don't forget, we will be back at it next Saturday night, July the 11th. No fans in attendance, but 7 p.m. right here on GForceTV.net as we bring you all the action from Merrittville Speedway. We've got the small block modifieds, Hoosier Stocks, and 360 sprint cars, and then the following night, Sunday, July the 12th at 7 p.m., we'll be down at the Humberstone Speedway for their second event of this tour of duty as well. And down there we'll have the late model open, the sportsman modifieds. We'll have mini stocks in the action sprint tour to cap off our 6th tour event here for Operation Green Flag. So that will wrap things up from here at Flamboro Speedway. On behalf of my co-announcers Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross, I'm Greg Kellnan saying so long and thanks for watching Operation Green Flag Mission Flamboro Speedway.